Good evening, Your Excellencies, Ambassadors and High Commissioners, honorable members of the Parliament, esteemed guests, beloved members of the Cypriot diaspora, cherished friends of Cyprus, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great pleasure that we welcome you all to this special occasion as we gather to celebrate the 64th anniversary of the Republic of Cyprus. This evening is not just a celebration of our independence, but also a testament to the strength of our community and the bonds that unite us all, both here in the United Kingdom and across the globe. We are honored to have with us the talented children of St. Cyprian's Primary Academy, who will begin our celebration by performing the Cypriot and British national anthems. Their voices symbolize the bright future of our nation and the enduring ties between Cyprus and the United Kingdom.
Από την κόψη του σπαθιού την τρομερή, σε γνωρίζω από την όψη που με διάμετράει τη γη. Απ' τα κόκαλα βγαλμένη των Ελλήνων τα αερά και σαν πρώτα αντριωμένη ελευθεριά και σαν πρώτα αντριωμένη ελευθεριά και σαν πρώτα αντριωμένη ελευθεριά. God save our gracious King, long live our noble King, God save the King. Send him victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us, God save the King.
It is a joy to witness the spirit of our youth who represent the promise of our heritage and our future. Now it is my great pleasure to introduce the Cypriot High Commissioner, Dr. Kiprιακής Κούρου. As we commemorate this significant anniversary, I invite him to share his thoughts and reflections on the journey of our beloved Republic of Cyprus. Thank you.
Welcome everyone, Excellencies, dear guests, compatriots, ladies and gentlemen, and friends. Allow me to warmly welcome you here today to celebrate with us the National Day of the Republic of Cyprus. As it is done on such occasions, I will try to take stock of the 64 years since the establishment of the Republic of Cyprus and touch upon the relations with the host country. A National Day should be a day of celebrations. However, when I was putting these words on the paper last night, I was wondering how can we truly celebrate when our world is in a whirlwind, facing challenges unlike any we have ever seen. Yet, geopolitical divisions keep deepening. Wars rage with no clue how they will end, and nuclear posturing and new weapons cast a dark shadow. We are edging towards the unimaginable, a powder keg that risks engulfing the world. These are the words of the Secretary General of the United Nations, not mine. And I could go saying, when our immediate neighborhood in the East Mediterranean is in flames, when the continent we belong to experiences its worst military conflict since the end of the Second World War, when the Cyprus issue remains unresolved for half a century, how can we celebrate? It is obvious, like most career diplomats, my intention was at the General Assembly last month, listening to the speeches of leaders, our leaders, other leaders. It was the Secretary General who said some truths which for some reason keep on evading us in dealing with them drastically. He said, the state of our world is unsustainable. We can't go on like this. The challenges we face are solvable, he added, but that requires us to make sure the mechanism of international problem solving actually solve problems. A world of impunity, he added, getting there requires confronting three major drivers of unsustainability. One, a world of impunity where violations and abuses threaten the very foundations of international law and the UN Charter. A world of inequality where injustices and grievances threaten to undermine countries or even push them over the edge. And a world of uncertainty where unmanaged global risks threaten our future in unknowable ways. These worlds of impunity, inequality, and uncertainty are connected and colliding. However, for these challenges which the Secretary General described, we need more able people with integrity in positions in power. As a European country that geography places in the Middle East, Cyprus built on the long-standing bonds of friendship and trust with our neighbors, trying to fulfill our duty as an anchor of stability in a turbulent area, as the European Union's furthest lighthouse in the southeastern Mediterranean Sea. We offer the Amalthea Maritime Corridor to the international community, a lifeline of hope and humanity, as my president put it. This is the Cyprus we strive to be. This year, we, the Greek Cypriot community, mourned 50 years since the tragic events that led to the occupation of part of Cyprus. 50 years, half a century of continuing occupation of approximately 37% of the territory of the Republic of Cyprus, of continuous violations of the UN Charter, of international legality, and the other side celebrated. President Christodoulidis made it clear in his speech at the General Assembly last month that he is determined to continue exerting all efforts to resume negotiations for a viable solution to the Cyprus issue, within the only framework, the relevant United Nations Security Council resolutions that call for a bizonal, bicommunal federation with political equality, and fully in line with the EU law, values, and principles. The negotiations for a Cyprus settlement unfortunately reached a standstill after our last attempt in 2017. There is some movement now. The efforts of my government resulted finally in the appointment of a Secretary General's Special Envoy last January, and a trilateral meeting with the Secretary General himself is scheduled for next week in New York. We count on the support of the United Kingdom as a guarantor power for Cyprus and a permanent member of the United Nations Security Council to help us reach a solution at last that reunifies our country. Despite the challenges, the Republic of Cyprus has managed to prosper and achieve remarkable progress and achievements due to the resilience and handwork of its people. The macroeconomic indicators place us well above the average of the European Union. The growth performance of Cyprus over the last decade has been significant. It has even exceeded international expectations, with annual GDP growth of over 3% and successive credit ratings upgrades and praising reports. We expect the debt to GDP ratio to drop below the Maastricht Treaty 60% threshold by 2026, in 2 years' time. As the business landscape changes rapidly, a national strategy has been launched to transform the island into a regional hub for fast-growing sectors such as information and communication technologies, education, healthcare, and renewable energy. I would like to mention the bilateral relations with the United Kingdom. During the Crusades, the fleet of Richard the Lionheart reached the shores of Cyprus on May 1191 on their way to the Holy Lands, and accidentally conquered us for a brief period of time. The second time, we met again in 1878, when they grasped the administration of the island from the hands of the Ottoman ruler at the time, and eventually transformed the island into another British colony. Therefore, we can claim we know each other for quite some time. Nowadays, in the 21st century, we want to believe that bilateral relations are going from strength to strength. In the words of the recently elected Prime Minister of Britain, our relationship is invaluable. Quotes, unquote. Our historic ties, evident in the deep connection that exists at all levels of our societies and government, with people-to-people contacts, the respective diasporas, and the plethora of areas within which cooperation is pursued, are the foundation for an ever closer partnership between our countries in the future. Next Monday, my President, the President of the Republic of Cyprus, will be meeting with the British Prime Minister, and we hope that it will be the start of a fruitful and mutually beneficial relationship. Already our two countries work hand in hand in dealing with challenges in the Middle East, and Cyprus, a beacon of stability in an area full of crisis, has been a temporal safe haven for evacuation from the region as far as Sudan. A first meeting between the two gentlemen, which takes place after a historic political agreement on the exercise of sovereignty over the Chagos archipelago. I have to say that the government of Keir Starmer raises the hopes of partners like us quite high. On trade, the UK is one of the most important economic partners for Cyprus, with a foreign direct investment between the two countries exceeding 22 billion euros. The UK is also the biggest export market for Cyprus products, absorbing 8% of the total. In the last years, however, the economic relations between the two countries were built upon traditional sectors such as tourism and hospitality, shipping and transport, real estate, and at a later stage, financial insurance and other professional services. As you know, Cyprus is a holiday destination. If you don't know, please take advantage and visit us. That is our biggest industry. Our hospitality is our greatest asset. In 2024, arrivals recorded from Britain were up 4.1% from the same period of 2023. More than 1 million tourists arrive from the UK to Cyprus per year. And 6 airlines fly to Cyprus from 18 different UK airports. On the cultural aspect, I could go on forever, but you saw the demonstration earlier, so I don't need to go into details. I will end up my intervention, my speech, on a diaspora. A final word for our strong Cypriot community in the UK. With hard work and persistence, they became an important part of the society with positive input in the socio-political life and always strive for building and maintaining relations with the representatives of all the governments that pass from Downing Street. At the same time, the Cypriot community here tries its best to remain true to its roots, its traditions and values, and never losing courage in our just cause in finding a just and lasting solution which will reunify the island. I could go on and on, but what is important about our community here is that they kept their identity and they try to pass it on to the next generations. All the above would be of no substance if our diaspora didn't have the conscious determination to maintain and convey the ties and love for Cyprus to the next generations. For this alone, I feel it's my obligation to extend to all of them, present and non, my warmest, strongest congratulations, and I declare that I'm very proud of them. With these final words, I would like to thank you all for your attention and for your patience.